Hi everyone, welcome to Life Fitness Beginners Ashtanga Yoga. I'm your instructor, my name is Catherine, and this is Kelly, she's my student, and we're ready to begin. The first pose or asana that we are going to be doing is called Seated Lotus. In Seated Lotus, you are simply sitting in a cross-legged position. You want to stack your shoulders over your hips like Kelly is doing, and the best way to do this is lift your shoulders up, pull them back, and really open up your chest area. Start to take your big deep breaths in and out. This gives you the room to do that. Good job. You want to press your hands into the mat. You're going to lock your elbows and feel your triceps engage. You feel your shoulders engage. This really works on your core, your abs, your lower back as well. Continuing to take those big deep breaths in and out. Good job, Kelly. Chin is parallel to the floor. And you can take one breath, you can take 5 breaths, whatever feels best for you. Eventually, you want to work up to 5 breaths for each pose or asana. We're going to move on to a seated sun salute, which is our second pose or asana. And you're going to go into that pose from this position. So Kelly is going to take her hands and place them in an upright position, moving them away from her body a little bit. Always moving on an inhale in yoga. She's going to move the hands up and looking up at the sun, because the sun salute is in fact honoring the sun. She's got her elbows engaged nice and straight. And you notice that she's keeping her shoulders right over her hips. So her core is engaged and her spine is nice and straight. Good job. Now she's going to take her hands and palms facing the other way. Turn them out towards the ground. Take a breath in. She's going to press into the mat and again pull the shoulders back. Good job. And take a couple deep breaths in and out. When you come out of a pose, what you want to do, because we always do the yin and yang in yoga, is you engage the muscles, you stretch, you strengthen, and then you just let it go. Okay, good job. Our next position is called Float the Heart Forward. And again, we start this from our seated lotus position. Kelly's going to take her hands and place them in an upright position. On an inhale, she's going to come up to a sun salute. Look up, take a breath in. And now she's going to pivot from the hip. So she's going to keep her spine nice and straight. She's going to align her neck with her spine. Good job. And she's continuing to breathe. And as she's breathing into the hip, because that's probably the area where you're going to feel the resistance. Some people feel it in the lower back, but you breathe wherever you feel the tightness or the resistance. Keep breathing, and as you breathe, you'll notice that you can maybe inch your fingers forward just a little bit more. Remember that everybody is different. Sometimes when you're first starting to do these asanas, you may not be that flexible. Don't worry about it. Stay with your breathing, and you will eventually get there. So Kelly's going to take a couple deep breaths in and out. Good job. And now I'm going to let you drop your head, Kelly, and go just a little bit further. Nice. And now we're just going to take a breath in, and I want you just to relax everything. Right there. Good job. Always doing the yin and the yang. And now I want you to engage your arms again. Lock your elbows. And on an inhale, you're going to come back up. Good job. Again, aligning shoulders over the hips. And inhale, palms are going to face outward towards the ground. And press into the mat. Take a breath in. Good job. And take a couple breaths right here. In and out, just relaxing. All right, the second part of floating the heart forward is a side stretch, which engages the lateral obliques, which is this whole rack of abs along your side. Gives you that little cut in your waist right there. So Kelly is going to take the left hand and move it away from her body a little bit, because we always start off on the right side in yoga. You're going to take that right hand, palm facing upward. On an inhale, it's going to come up. Take another breath in, and she's going to lean, stretching the side right here. You want to bend that left elbow as much as you can, but you'll notice while she's doing this, she still has her shoulders stacked over her hips. She's not leaning forward, she's not leaning backwards. And she's feeling the stretch right here, all along the lateral obliques. You're going to take a couple breaths, like I said, 1 breath to 5 breaths while you're in the position. 1 more breath in and out. On an inhale, she's going to release and come back on the right side. And this right arm's going to come down into the mat. Good job. And always she's going to press into the mat and align those shoulders, open up that chest so that she's continuing to breathe nice and deep. So we're going to take it to the other side. Kelly's going to move that. There you go. Hand over and inhale. Come on up. Take a breath. And then you're going to lean into that stretch, engaging the lateral obliques, engaging the abs. You'll feel your lower back working in this too. Take a couple nice deep breaths in and out. Good job. And then inhale, come back to center. Good job. And inhale, palm down and press into the mat, shoulders back. And take a couple deep breaths right here. Very nice. All right, our next asana is called foot to the chest stretch. Again, from seated lotus, we're going to take our legs and extend them into a V position. You're going to lock the knees. I want you to pull your feet towards your face so your ankles are flexed. Again, you're pressing into the mat to make sure that your spine is aligned, nice and straight, that your shoulders are over your hips. And on an inhale, Kelly is going to bend that right leg and pull the foot into the chest. You can grab that leg whatever feels comfortable for you. There's no right or wrong way to do that. You can reach around, reach over, and you notice that she's keeping her spine nice and straight. She's keeping her shoulders squared over her hips. Her chin is up, parallel to the ground, and she's simply pulling that leg into the chest. You're feeling a really deep stretch in the hip flexors, feeling a deep stretch in the hamstrings as well. Good job. 1 more breath in and out. Good job. All right, and then on an inhale, you're going to lengthen that leg again, lock the knee, pull the foot towards the face. Good job. And we're going to do the same thing on the left side. We always do the right side first, so inhale. Bring that leg into the chest. Again, keeping the chest nice and open, deep breathing. Good job. And take another big, deep breath in and out. Remember, you're inhaling through your nose, exhaling through your mouth. And take a deep breath, Kelly, and let's extend that left leg again. Lock the knees, press into the mat, pull the feet towards the face. Okay, our next pose or asana is the full body stretch. So Kelly's going to lay down flat on the mat, on her back. So you're basically laying on the length of the mat. Arms are overhead. And as always in yoga, we're always doing the yin and the yang. So what you're going to do is you're going to start off by completely relaxing and letting go. Just let yourself go heavy into the mat. And now to begin this pose, because this pose works the entire body, all of the muscles, including the muscles in your face. But primarily, we're going to be working abs because it really engages your abs. So on an inhale, what Kelly is going to do is she is going to tighten up every muscle in her body. Point your toes, reach with your fingertips. She's going to tighten up her arms, her chest, her abs, her legs. And then lastly, she's going to even scrunch up her face. Every muscle's engaged, and you're going to lift up off the mat, maybe 2 inches, not very far at all. Continuing to breathe nice and deep. You're going to take from 1 breath to 5 breaths, whatever level feels comfortable for you. Try to stay up eventually to 5 breaths. Good job, Kelly. Nice deep breathing. Good girl. Always moving on an inhale. Inhale, and you're going to melt into the mat and just let it go. Let your feet flop to the side. Part your lips a little bit. Just let your jaw hang, and you're just going to melt into the mat. The second part of this asana is done on your tummy. So we're going to have you come over onto your tummy. If you want to bend your knees, lean over to the side. That's always a good way to do it. It protects your lower back. And again, arms are overhead, top of the foot down to the mat, and Kelly's going to put her forehead down to the mat. Take a couple breaths right here, just letting it go into the mat. And again, just like we did on the flip side, and this is really going to engage your lower back. It works all of the muscles in your body, but you're really going to engage your lower back. This is great for strengthening your lower back. So we're going to, on an inhale always, tighten up everything, reach with the toes, point the fingertips. On an inhale, she's going to raise her head up off the mat, and arms and legs are going to come off the mat maybe 2 inches. Good job. And you can feel if you're breathing deeply enough, because you're going to see your body move up and down with the breath. So that's always a good indicator that you're breathing deep enough. You want to get way down to the bottom lobes of those lungs. Good job, very nice. You notice she's not too far up. The difficulty is greater when you're just inches above the ground. And on an inhale, her next inhale, she's going to take an inhale and just melt into the mat and completely let it go. If you want to turn your head to the side, if that feels better to you, that's totally fine. Take a couple deep breaths here, just completely letting it go. Okay, we're going to move from here into a modified 4-legged plank. So Kelly is going to put her hands just below her rib cage and press up into the mat, coming up on her knees into what we call a tabletop position. So you'll notice that shoulders are over the wrists. I'm going to have you move up on your mat a little bit just so that we can stay on the mat. There you go. So come up to the top of your mat for this because you'll need the length. Fingers are spread wide, shoulders are over the wrists, and your hands are about shoulder width. You'll notice that she has her neck aligned with her spine. Your knees are about shoulder width, your feet are about shoulder width. And because this is a modified 4-legged plank, I'm going to have you walk your knees away from you a little bit. There you go. Now, if that feels like as much as you can do, I want you to lean forward just a little bit so that you feel your chest engage. This works shoulders, biceps, triceps, it works back, but it's really primarily, it's really working the chest. So you feel your chest muscles engage right here. Now, if you feel like you can do a little bit more, what I want you to do is cross your ankles, lower your hips, still aligning your spine with your neck, and you'll really feel your chest engage on this one. So Kelly's going to breathe for us. Nice big deep breaths in and out. Again, if this is too much for you, then go back to the previous way that we were doing this. You want to work up to about 5 big long deep breaths in modified 4-legged plank. Good job. And one more big breath in and out. Very nice. Okay, to come out of this pose, first thing we're going to do is uncross ankles, bring the hips up and lean. Yep, bring the hands back and lean back. There you go. And you're back to your tabletop position. And from here, we are going to go to child's pose. So the first thing that you're going to do, child's pose is our final pose. And it's a resting pose. It's also, you can also do child's pose in between the other asanas if you need a break. Kelly's going to take her knees out to the sides of the mat. She's going to sit back. There you go, with hips on top of the feet. And she's going to walk her hands together and away from her. There you go. Lowering your chest towards the mat. You want to take your head down and put your forehead on the mat if you can, or close to it. And the way that you get a really good stretch in this pose is to walk your hands as far away as possible and together. You're going to feel a really good stretch all along your arms, your shoulders, your entire back, and of course your hip flexors are getting a really great stretch in child's pose. We're going to take a couple big deep breaths in and out. Again, you can take one breath. 5 breaths is what you want to work up to. One more big breath in and out, Kelly. Good job. And then always with the yin and the yang, you're going to bend these elbows. You're going to take the lock out of them, and you're just going to melt into that mat just like a rag doll. Just flop and let it go. Kelly's turning her head to the side if that feels better for you. That's great. Good job. And that concludes our asanas for beginner Ashtanga yoga.